Hello, it's Nikki. Today I want to ask you, how can you welcome in everyday sales to your business? Now, this is an interesting one to get your head around, or my head around rather, because society sets us up for paydays. And we are told for lots of people that you get paid once a month, you get 12 paychecks per year, and that's that. And there is a sense, of course, a loveliness with the predictability of that. So people knowing, and I've seen this a lot with people who work in corporates or have that predictable income, that sense of it sort of doesn't matter whether I'm there or not, I'll get paid anyway. And I've certainly been into some organizations where there's a lot of people just wandering around, and I'm sure that there is some kind of work going on, but it's a different mindset I've certainly found to when I've known that I needed to create sales in order to bring money into my business. It's a very different focus set to knowing that you've got that reliability of the income and you can just kind of potter around and make things take much longer. But that's another story. And obviously there's not a one size fits all here. There are some people who are working really hard, and there are some business owners who are maybe watching telly all day. But it's an interesting concept. So when I really stepped in to running my own thing, which is what I've always done really, I was trying to fit myself into a structure that didn't really work. So I've spoken a lot about this. So when I left drama school 5 months early because I got an agent and I got 2 jobs back to back. So I left and I took the work, which was really lovely. And then that work stopped. And it was about getting ready, let's just say, because waiting sounds like you're not being very proactive, getting ready for the next job. And yet I had to still exist and live and survive in London. And I had bills to pay and responsibilities, and being 21, I wasn't a teenager. I had to make a living. So what I started to do was to fill my time all the time, here, there and everywhere. So I ended up creating more than a 9-to-5 job. Monday to Friday, I'd work Saturdays, I'd work Sundays, I'd work evenings, early morning, because I was driven to make this work. And what happened was I put myself to such a capacity that was reliant on me working, and that was the only way that I could make money if I showed up. And what would happen in those early stages, and it still happens now, but my life and my business is different now, is that as soon as a casting came in or I got an acting job, I had to find ways to still deliver that work around what I was doing or lose that money. And so sometimes that casting or that audition that came in, there was no guarantee that that was going to work. It could just be a general meeting and I could go for things and there'd be like 100 other girls there. And you might come out and going, great. So the probability of me getting that is not very good. And also I've lost a morning's work. So I've got to find a way to make that back. My goodness me, I am absolutely checking my privilege in this, but I'm just talking about what the reality of going for your dream is. You're not just in the headspace of like, I just want my dream, I'm working towards it. Working towards it often is making money and making it work around there. So today I want to talk about the fact that my business is different now. And I've really understood, yes, what I can give in face-to-face situations and exchange my time for money in that way, but also what I can provide that's really valuable and really useful that people can get whenever they need it. And this has been a real difference, I guess, over the last decade, is really understanding that when people want stuff, they don't just want it in a 9-to-5 situation. I mean, imagine when things would close on a Friday and you just couldn't, I mean, there are some businesses that are still like that, but you just couldn't access anyone or access anything until Monday morning, 9 o'clock. And I remember my mum talking about the fact when supermarkets started to open on a Sunday, and that was some kind of revelation. And I think they'd only open for a couple of hours, and there was always that thing of, are they going to open on Easter Sunday? And pretty much, I think it's only Christmas Day, but then some shops still open on Christmas Day. Anyway, I digress. But I made the decision that I actually had the capacity to make sales every single day. And I really like that opportunity to be able to do that. And here's why. I am somebody that likes momentum in my life. I like to build, I like to do things daily. So I'm not very good when I'm in that feast or famine situation or flight or fight. I like to be somewhere in the middle. And so making sales or welcoming new people each and every day keeps me in that groove of like, yes. And maybe that's from an ego point of view of like, I'm putting something out there and I'm getting a response. I will fully admit to that as well. But if I had to save all my time and my efforts for like one launch or one payday, I am not equally in that part in my life at the moment, you know, with 2 small children. And when you have children, or if you have caring responsibilities, or you just want to have a life, that things pop up, things happen. And so what you might have been able to do in another part of your life of saying, yes, I'm definitely going to be there on that Monday, unless, I don't know, my house falls down. It's just not the case anymore. I think certainly over the last couple of years as well, life and business has become much more unpredictable. So instead of being in selling mode, here are some things that I can give you in terms of thinking about everyday sales. The first one is your shop window, is it established? So can people access it as and when they want to? And are you being really strong in your positioning? So one of the things that has worked really well for me in terms of everyday sales is I endeavor to be really, really clear about who I am, what I offer, and really making sure that it's clear. And I think that's something before you even, and I was talking to a client about this the other day, before you start putting out more and more stuff, make sure that you're sending people to a place. You know, imagine if you had an actual shop. There's no point necessarily just talking about the products and going, go and buy it from my shop. If they say, actually, my shop's not ready and it's a building site and it's got stuff over and you shouldn't really have people wandering around because it's not safe. Make sure that your shop is in a position to welcome those things first, and then you can drive people. Because once people are there, they might buy more than you might have expected. The second thing is make sure that your window display is really relevant. So you will see it on the high street when people do Halloween displays or Christmas or Easter, any kind of festivities. Make sure that they are up to date. And what I mean by this for you is making sure that what you do, your recent credits, your credibility, it's all there. Don't fall into the habit of going, I just don't have time to update my website and I've done all of these other things. Do that first before you start creating more content. Really make sure that that window display of who you are and what you're all about, make sure that it's up to date. The next thing is to really make sure that you are showing up in a variety of different ways. Now, I show up a lot in terms of my podcast and videos, but I'm also doing a call to action. I'm also giving free value. I'm also sharing question posts. I'm also putting myself in networking groups or going out there and talking about my business. But also I'm making sure that it's varied, but I am selling a lot. And I think that's okay to admit, because you want people to buy stuff. I want to be in business. And as much as I love what I do, I love the other parts of my life as well. So I want to have the time that I have available on my business to really work for me. The final thing that I want to say on this when I'm thinking about talking about sales and things like that every day. Be really clear and transparent about who these particular offerings or products are for. Really lead with integrity, because if you're just somebody each and every day going, yeah, just get the sales in, doesn't matter, just get them off the shelves, do that. And sometimes you'll see it on The Apprentice, where they're slashing prices, or they're just trying to, I don't know, do all kinds of things that are untoward. And I get that it's a competition, but we can learn a lot from this. And I don't want to be somebody who is in this game just for 5 minutes and then just to disappear from the face of the earth. I really pride myself on building a body of work and a career, and I've been doing this a really, really long time. And it's important to me, my reputation, my integrity, people's view of me. Confession time or what? So what I want to say is make sure that you're being really clear as to who you're marketing to, so people can purchase, with care, but with a sense of comfort and confidence that what they're going to purchase is actually going to be for them. Because actually you don't want those people being in your world who are like, I just purchased it because I thought it was this and now it's not, and creating refunds or complaints or things like that. And again, I'm really, really lucky that very, very rarely happens. And that's because I'm very clear about what this is for or who it's not. And so many times I have had discovery calls with people and I've said, I think there's somebody who could give you an alternative perspective that's going to work much better for you. Or maybe it isn't a coach you need. Maybe you need to go here, there and everywhere. So letting integrity lead first every single time. One final thing that I want to share on everyday sales is to be willing to have different things at different price points. This works really well for me because I see it as part of I guess what I witnessed is when I look at the people that I've worked with for the last 10 years, I've worked with a lot of the same people again and again, and they come back to me and then we work on something else. And I think that's why I've always been true to the fact that I look at many different facets of running a personal brand. And I know so many experts would say, just do one thing, Nikki, just offer one course, keep it really slick, just do that. And for me, it's never just one thing. And I've certainly found that as a personal brand myself. Like, I have to know how to talk about my brand. I also have to know how to price it. I have to make sure that it works. Sorry, my computer's going wild. I have to also know how it works in terms of my life. I need to know like where I go next and how I do that. So they're always things that are kind of coexisting alongside each other. And I think that's why I've always worked with the same people, because they'll come back and they know that I can not only have a sense of where they've been and where they're at, but understand where they want to go to. This was very apparent when I had Luna, when I went back to the midwife, and I was really lucky to have the same midwife again. She was really helpful in forming my decisions on how I move through the pregnancy, because she had the data from me and my notes, but also we had the data of Oscar as well, and what happened there and how he came into the world and his first few months. And so we were able to kind of plot that into the picture. And I really think that about my clients as well, is that quite often, if I've worked with people for 5 or 6 years, I have a real understanding of where they've been. And I love it when I get those emails or DMs or WhatsApps or whatever going, oh my goodness, I just got an anniversary thing on Facebook. Do you remember when I launched that thing? Or I have one client who always says, do you remember when I had that kind of branding? Wow, that seems so long ago. And it's lovely. It's lovely to be part of somebody's journey in that way. But sometimes those bigger price point offerings might happen from a free webinar, or a £5 digital download, or a £29 online event. So don't rule those things out. You don't have to give everything away for free, and really, I guess, pay attention to those lower end price points as well, because that could be a really great way of bringing people into your world. And I guess they're joining your ladder system of ultimately maybe working with you one-on-one and building that longer commitment. So I hope this has been useful for you today. In terms of next steps, you can go and find the freebie all about signs that it might be time to shake up your pricing. I also have a pricing and packaging course. So if you're thinking over the next few weeks, few months, next quarter, I need to work out what I'm doing and how I'm pricing, how I'm spending my time, that's going to be a really great one for you. There's two alternatives there. There's a standalone course, but also you can purchase with the addition of my one-on-one support as well. So I hope you find that useful. If you want to, you can look at Money Chat as well, which is loads of podcast episodes. And you can go to Money Chat on my website, nikkiraby.com/Money Chat, and also book a free 15-minute session with me if you're looking for some one-on-one support. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope I've given you lots of food for thought. I'm sending lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.